Hello there, and welcome to the Forts Pro League. And we're off. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Gyatt versus Monkey Air Force. As here we have on the left-hand side is Team Gyatt playing as the Architect Commander. We get to see some goodness out of them. One of my favorite commanders, really. They're doing one of my favorite things. It's sniping. You guys know I like sniping. Sniping makes me happy. And they're sending all that general hatred over to Team Monkey Air Force. Teutonic and Helicopter taking a beating here. Well, more of a spitting. They're playing as the Pinch Fist Commander. We get to see a little bit more rush out of Pinch Fist, out of Monkey Air Force here. Looks like they're going straight to heavy weapons, it would seem, as we have Teutonic already part of the way through the heavy weapons tech, as it looks like they actually just straight up won the sniper war here with that. Team Gyatt taking these a little bit more slowly, going up heavier on the mine and economic tree than anything else. Let's see, Helicopter placing down and getting access to that heavy weapons tech. We're gonna have a little bit of variety going on. Oh. And there we have it, Monkey Air Force loses a player. Helicopter getting just a little too greedy, selling off just a little bit too much of their base. You know, Pinch Fist, you love to see it, you hate to see it. Pinch Fist bases selling themselves off fully to get a little extra boost in the early game, getting punished super hard by a buzzsaw, and a single shot taking out Helicopter. Well, that's a way to start round one. Oh boy, so Teutonic's got their work cut out for them. It does have cannons, which is about the best case scenario for weapons. If you're looking to do a team fight here, a 1vx, 1v2. And given that he's Pinch Fist, he's going to have access to those weapons here pretty quickly. In fact, his technology just completed. All he needs is the money to actually get the weapon placed. Looks like they're going to be focusing a little bit on defense, just to make sure they don't suffer the same fate as a teammate. Whereas Team Gyatt here on the left-hand side, not going particularly quickly. We see an upgrade center placed first. This is fairly common for Architect players. As well as up on top here, Gengar is just going straight to laser weaponry, which it's going to take him a moment to get there because Gengar went eco, pretty heavy eco first, and yeah, we even see Butterdog upgrading mine. So they're looking to take this to the late game, you know, a tried and true RTS tactic. If you're ahead, just get further ahead. You don't need to worry about much else here. Whereas Teutonic, on the other hand, using the cheeky spot, so basically hiding a howitzer back here. If players know what to look for and what to scout for, this can be detected. It is not without footprints that cannot be seen. It is not invisible. It's just generally not visible to most players because you don't usually expect a howitzer from that position. Looks like we got a cannon follow-up over here. Is that a cannon or a 20? I think that's the standard cannon, which is definitely the ideal in this instance because you don't want doors being open for a long time in a 1v2 scenario, and you also want to be penetrating deep to get that damage done. It looks like Team Gyatt is definitely not going super hard on the defensive side of things. They've got numerical advantage and economic advantage, so they seem to be taking advantage of that. Getting a little risky. The question I have is, will Teutonic be opening fire with the howitzer and reveal the choice of weapons, or will Teutonic be waiting for that cannon to finish? I can tell you, if I was Teutonic, I would be waiting for the cannon to finish. Not because you can't fire it and get damage done, but because you're probably not going to be doing any significant... Why are you like this? Gengar. You see what you've done there. Alright, howitzer flies and lands. That does reveal the existence of the howitzer, and now Team Gyatt's going to be prepared to take that kind of damage. But of course, Teutonic's got more than just one howitzer. The howitzer with the cannon follow-up is the typical way of going about that. But yeah, you see with the wall of MGs, machine gunners coming out of Butterdog here, that howitzer is going to have a rough time landing. Teutonic's already preparing to deal with the machine gunners by getting a sniper. Of course, Butterdog also getting a sniper. But now that the howitzer's been revealed, yeah, it's Team Gyatt is very, very prepared for this. Oh boy. So that was a mess. Teutonic sniping out that Magna beam. It's gonna stop the greatest of memes from happening. But not before they got one shot off and nearly eliminating Teutonic's core with the process. Question is, will Teutonic be able to deal with those gunners enough to actually get a howitzer shell across? And I find that extremely unlikely. This is primarily the reason I was thinking it would be more efficient to wait till that cannon was done so you can land the howitzer pretty clean and then follow it through with a cannon to do some deep tissue damage. Oh boy, that was close. Yeah, at this point, Teutonic either needs to get a shotgun out to start dealing with some of those gunners, or sell off that howitzer and replace it with a standard cannon, just so it can deal any damage whatsoever. Because as it stands, the longer this game goes on, the further ahead Team Gyatt is going to get in the lead. As remember, Team Gyatt over here is developed all the economy with an upgrade center for upgraded economy, and that's just going to leave them with a faster momentum going through this game than Teutonic has. And that's not even including, you know, Teutonic's in a 1vx here, a 1v2 here. Like, they have about 2.5 times the economy that Teutonic has right now. Like, you can't let the game drag on like this. You have to get an elimination immediately, or do critical damage. Yeah, that howitzer's not going to make it in the foreseeable future. Which is really rather unfortunate for Teutonic, but definitely in the interest of Team Gyatt, who's scaling up to even more weapons. The second cannon coming online for Butterdog in the lower fort. Gonna give him that much more firepower to deal with. Butterdog right now is suffering a little bit of energy production issues. Looks like they accidentally blocked off the turbines for a moment. It's gonna render them unable to fire their cannons for a moment. Gengar going double fire beam, which surprises me. But with two cannons sailing straight to Teutonic's foundation, that's just a position that they can't sustain damage to, and just hope it's okay. They have to reinforce that position intensely. And it's not going to work out well for them, because that's how you get into the death spiral. Multiple cannons hitting a well-fortified position means a hefty repair bill. If that repair bill is more than your income, spoiler alert, it is, then you get sent down into the abyss, one cannon shell at a time, with no way out without a teammate coming to save you. And I don't think that's happening this time around. Incoming howitzer. Solid hit. And it's gone. Teutonic loses their cannon, and with it any hope of consistently getting damage out. And there's the penetration. It's enough to keep the howitzer alive, but it isn't enough to fully defend the howitzer anymore. Yeah, okay. And we're off to round two, where the sides have been swapped. The score is 0-1. Team Monkey Air Force here on the left-hand side. Teutonic and Helicopter looking to make a comeback after losing their first match to, well, dare I say, one of the more greedy examples of a build order we've seen in a while. Getting punished super hard for it. Team Monkey Air Force is playing as the Armadillo Commander. The commander that's, I'm going to almost describe it as the antithesis of Pinch Fist, because it's the ultimate base defense commander. Everything they do rewards tankiness and longer matches by virtue of, you know, survivability. And surprise, this is a mirror match where Team Gyatt here on the right-hand side is also going for the Armadillo Commander. Armadillo Commander is one of the few commanders where seeing an upgrade center doesn't immediately raise concerns of early game cheese strategies, as the benefit of the Armadillo's defensives means that you can generally get away with going upgraded economy without just straight losing the game. Between the bonuses of the faster doors, you can do things like better snipe, better defenses overall, less door sniping opportunities, and just the ability to repair for cheaper. Means that you can actually stall the game out just by getting high economy, and then slowly grind your way back into having weapons. It's quite an effective strategy. We've seen it a fair few times throughout the Forts Pro League. Both teams are looking to do that kind of thing, although Team Monkey Air Force is going a bit more aggressive with it. Looks like a standard heavy weapons rush, but utilizing the bonuses of Armadillo in the process. Whereas Team Gyatt is actually going upgrade center first for the upgraded mines, and Gengar is doing something akin to a standard weapons rush, standard heavy weapons rush. As we see Butterdog up top, already 2 out of 3 upgraded mines, the third along the way. Compare this to Helicopter, who's just about to place their first heavy weapon. It's going to start it off with the plasma, it looks like. I am wondering if that fire beam plasma combo from Helicopter's going to be able to eliminate Butterdog before they're prepared. This man's going swarm missiles. This is a strategy I've not seen on this map outside of like our live streams, because this requires the use of portals, and portals, for those who know, are extremely expensive and generally very difficult to justify on something resembling an even match, because it just means your opponent's going to have that much more money, and it's a problem. That's a big deal. When we see this kind of thing every so often in our live streams, like, man's going up to 3 swarm missiles. You mad lad. Okay, well, if you guys want to see more shenanigans like this with all kinds of crazy strategies, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, because we got strats like this happening all the time in our, oh my god, it's 4. They're gonna go for, I'm betting they're gonna go for 5. They're never gonna be, they're gonna build 5, but they're not gonna be able to use 5 because they can't afford 5. That's what's gonna happen here. I'm calling it now. Uh-oh. That's an, yeah. You can't even wood wall that. Okay. They hard walled it just in time. I was like, there's no way. You can't slap a turbine down because there's nothing there to stop it. Like, it's bad. But the fire beam survives. They're going to want to repair that before firing it, which would delay firing slightly. But I think Helicopter's looking at Butterdog's base with anger in their heart, because if I saw Butterdog's base here, I would be slicing that off of its foundations just immediately. Because you can. Oh, he's already selecting the weapon. Look at it. He's clicking. He's waiting. Oh boy. He's even got the buzzsaw just in case the fire beam doesn't pen. All right. All right, Helicopter. Show us that damage. A little low. And no buzzsaw follow-up. Okay. A little low, but Butterdog does manage to get their defenses in time. The reality is Butterdog got their defenses with like 1.5 seconds to spare. Any seconds longer, like even a single second longer, and that combo would have overpenned and gone straight either to the core or anywhere it wants it to hit, for that matter. But this is gonna do a bit of an interesting changed the dynamic here. Because Butterdog is just straight up not trying to provide any kind of map control. They are just going full tank, which is something Armadillo is very good at. And instead, they're going to be portaling nukes out the bottom of their base. There it is. Oh, very close to a disconnect, or to a clean slice. But no, that is not vulnerable there. Gengar taking the full brunt of the combined focused fire from Team Monkey Air Force, and quite a lot of damage. But they did survive. Where is the output portal? There it is. The output portal along the bottom of the... I'm actually kind of surprised to see it isn't up here. Yeah, he's gonna have to defend it. Okay. Swing it a hit. Looks like Helicopter didn't quite have the energy to full burn that plasma, but if he had just a little bit sooner, he might have gotten the door snipe he was looking for. Cannon follow-up. I am surprised that Gengar has taken this many hits. Like, I understand that he's Armadillo and he could take more hits, but good lord, that is a surprising amount of focus fire that just isn't penning. Gengar is looking to be Team Tank and potentially MVP here, as Butterdog launching 4 swarm missiles, well, more precisely, more accurately. 2 swarms, 2 nukes. Everything hits, dealing great damage, but Helicopter mitigating most of it with some spaced armor. Just throwing up some ablative armor in reactively throwing up some ablative armor there to keep them from getting blasted out of the game. That's surprisingly quick portal nukes coming out by the 7:45 on the clock. Oh, there's the door snipe. Okay, that's going to potentially change the direction of this game. With Gengar losing the last of their weapons, Gengar is now no longer an immediate threat. That's going to give Monkey Air Force the opportunity to focus on mitigating Butterdog's quite expensive presence on the field. And there's one down. Alright. This is one of the problems with this kind of strategy. As fun as it is, affording it is not really doable. Butterdog just unable to fire all of their weapons simultaneously. They just don't have the throughput for it. The energy income for it. Teutonic with the howitzer. It landed the first time, but true to form, Team Gyatt just got multiple walls worth of machine gunners, and now the howitzer isn't able to make it across the field. Helicopter trying to mitigate the Butterdog situation by going straight to the foundation, taking out the nukes themselves. Butterdog predicted that and put an energy shield there, which is not at all a surprise. Looks like Team Monkey Air Force is getting themselves a hefty chunk of map control. With that shotgun blast, there's a solid opportunity for Teutonic to get this howitzer shell across the field. It isn't guaranteed. Also, Teutonic doesn't currently have the energy to fire the howitzer, which is a different issue. And it will give Team Gyatt time to reconstruct their anti-air, which they are currently doing, and have mostly done already. Here comes Butterdog, saving up enough to get it across. To get it all launched, but did they get it across? And... uh-oh. It hits. Teutonic takes the full brunt damage of a direct impact nuke, which is a little bit hard to deal with. Oh, a clean hit. Howitzer slams into Gengar's base. Nice follow-up with the cannon, but Gengar's had an opportunity to reconstruct and reset their defenses so they can eat that kind of damage without too much of a concern. As long as it's not repeated a bunch of times. Uh-oh. Incendiary nuke. Teutonic takes another hit and survives, but they can't keep taking hits like that. That's going to be a problem if those continue to land. The fire beams from Gengar are dramatically helping the nukes land. You see those quick doors coming in, saving. The problem that Team Monkey Air Force is going to have here is they just don't have the damage output, the raw damage output necessary to break the defenses of Team Gyatt. Butterdog especially is just thickened themselves and is using portals and indirect fire weapons to make sure that there's literally not even a single weak spot across the entirety of the front of their base. That's something that Team Monkey Air Force, or Gengar for that matter, just can't do for themselves. Which means that in order to do actual damage to Butterdog, they have to... Team Monkey Air Force is going to have to ramp up the damage immensely. It looks like they've decided to focus on Gengar instead, who's a little bit less tanky, substantially less tanky. But it's like, how do you break this? Because at that point, Gengar is just a standard fort whose sole purpose is to support the main DPS of Butterdog up top with nothing but fire beams and cheap weapons, and then just flat armor themselves, which is quite a difficult scenario to get yourself into. And when nuke lands... Oh, it's bad. Yep. The howitzer is vulnerable as well, although I think he'll be able to recover that in time. Yeah, a nice sandbag saves it. Honestly, it's looking pretty rough for Team Monkey Air Force here. Not that Monkey Air Force is in a bad position, they just don't have a solution to the problems that they're facing. And it's going to take them a little while to find a solution. And time is not on their side. Team Gyatt just showing a dominating performance, just out there with extremely thick bases in wood. Look at that, they're even constructing extra weapons in the thickness of the base, which is, you know, credit to them. That's a good strat, I like it. Using their fire beams against them, the howitzer flies across the field, slams directly into Gengar's weapons. Not quite enough to... Oh, it is enough! With the laser follow-up, Gengar loses multiple fire beams, but the fire beams are not the major threat. But the major threat has been defeated once again. The nuke's getting taken out of the sky. Teutonic desperately needs to get some additional weaponry on the field, and they agree. It looks like they're throwing a 20 mil down on the front of the base. I imagine this is for the purposes of clearing out those gunners more consistently. That way the howitzer can actually make it. This is one of those unusual circumstances where generally my first response to seeing the opponents so strongly defend against howitzers is to just don't use howitzers. But in this case, in this instance, they kinda desperately need the maximum amount of firepower available to them. And so it's probably better off for Team Monkey Air Force to contest the map with, well, anti-machine gunner technologies, and then proceed to howitzer. Oh, that's it. Teutonic falls, a nuke slamming straight into the howitzer, getting drunk and slithering in between the cracks of the armor, doing massive damage and dropping the howitzer on his own foundations. That's gonna leave Helicopter versus the world, and, well, unsurprisingly, those lasers are not going to be breaking bases. Lasers are just not particularly high damage weapons or high penetration weapons. And it's just not enough damage output in general to break through either base here for their opponents. I believe Helicopter agrees and has already swapped over technologies to the cannon, but of course going multiple heavy weapons tech, it just takes a long time. It's expensive. And so we're seeing it coming out now with the cannon more than halfway completed, but it's just, it's too little too late, I think, at this point, as Team Gyatt ramping up their firepower, the extra laser ready to fire once again. It looks like Team Gyatt has fully removed all of their anti-air, correctly identifying that Team Monkey Air Force no longer has a howitzer or anything that can, oh, it's bad. Yeah. There it goes. Gonna say, correctly recognizing that Team Monkey Air Force no longer has things that can be shot down out of the air that are susceptible to anti-air of any kind. And as such, they don't need it. Instead, swapping those weapons over to buzzsaws, among other things, which is going to help make those nukes land just that much easier. I am just surprised that that this strategy over here didn't get punished. It's so slow. The fire beams shutting down any hope of taking those nukes out of the sky. And they land. And with that, Helicopter's core is exposed. The snipers are coming. And it's over. Ladies and gentlemen, Team Gyatt wins 2-0 in this best of 3 and earns themselves sweet, delicious points.